So it's 5 in the morning and I think this is the perfect time to talk about my history of insomnia. When I was a wee lad, maybe 12 years old or so, I developed a very bad issue with sleep. As in, it would take upwards of 6 hours at night laying down to actually fall asleep. I had a very bad insomnia problem. Now, this was causing me to pull all-nighters on school nights when I was in middle school. And ever since then, I've basically been in the habit of being fatigued all day, every minute of the day. But essentially, I just could not sleep no matter how bad I wanted to. I was, miserable. And the only thing I found that could help it was taking certain medications, over-the-counter medications. Particularly PM cold medicines such as Advil PM, Tylenol PM, NyQuil. I've never tried Benadryl, but I've heard very good things. But I would just take those medications every night and it would put me to sleep, maybe in a few hours rather than more than a few hours. And eventually that led up to me having internal bleeding, and that was not fun. But this problem was so bad that I would take more than my recommended dose of these medications every night, and they would eventually grow to stop being effective because I took them so often, which you're not supposed to do. So my recommendation would be to not use these every day of your life if you are having trouble sleeping. I was an idiot child. But when you're having issues that bad with sleeping, you really need to rule out any medical issues with a doctor. If you absolutely cannot do that, you need to find an alternative method to get to sleep. Lately, if I can't sleep, I will use melatonin, and the low doses don't do anything for me. So I take 5 to 10 milligrams, which is already way too high, but it does the job. But let's move on from my period of insomnia and get to the period of sleeping okay. So once I reached adulthood, I actually began to sleep pretty decently. I would sleep maybe 8 to 10 hours a night with no naps during the day. I actually was never able in my life to nap until recently. When I was 18 years old, I had a hospital stay in the psychiatric ward, and during that time I was heavily sleep deprived. And once I came home, I started getting into the habit of napping regularly. And when I say regularly, I mean I was oversleeping. And by oversleeping, I mean sleeping maybe 18 hours a day. That didn't last too long, but eventually I was put on a medication that helped me sleep regularly the way a normal person should be sleeping. And now we're getting to this point in which my meds have changed yet again. And nowadays, I am actually oversleeping. However, it is nowhere near as bad as it was after I came home from the hospital. Rather, it is me sleeping about 8 hours a night and taking upwards of 3 to 4 naps a day, and those naps are lasting maybe an hour to 3 hours each. So, to summarize, my sleep life is a mess. Nowadays, the closest part of my sleeping that comes to insomnia would be waking up very early in the morning, say right now, and just not being able to fall back asleep until I can nap several hours later. So we've come full circle, kids. We've gone from not sleeping to sleeping way too much, and then back again. Essentially, you want to aim for about 8 hours a night. I have poor aim. And my final notes for the video? Well, it's been an hour, my internet is still out, I can't sleep, and my cats are losing their absolute minds. I think one is spider walking on the ceiling. Anyway, thank you for listening or watching this short video, and I hope it was interesting. I will see you guys again soon, and goodbye!